Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. It's now time for Design Time. We have a QR code right there at the bottom of your screen for you to scan to get more information on today's topic. So don't forget to do that. We're with our great friend, Kathy Kilborn at Tri-City Furniture. Kathy, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yes. So we are talking about something that has kind of gone away. So many things have changed these days and so quickly. For instance, the computer that we used to have like a computer room for.
Exactly.
We just have it in our hands now.
Yes.
So one item that has also gone through some drastic changes is the television and entertainment centers.
Yes.
Kathy, let's talk a little bit about when the TV appeared in most people's homes.
Well, after World War II, the TV actually kind of came into being. And in the beginning of the 50s, you were really lucky if you had a TV, but they were small. The screens were round. They were put into a wood cabinet. And what's really unusual is that our home rooms, so the living room, were small because the screen was small. We all sat close to that TV to actually see what was going on.
And Kathy, tell us what changed within the next decade.
Well, in the next 10 years or so, in the 60s, we found that the TV screens changed a bit, got a little bit bigger, and we finally got color.
Yeah.
And many homes then actually got TV. So in the 50s, it was here and there, but then the 60s, the prices were coming down a little bit, and people could afford to have a TV. They were still small, but at least we all had them.
And tell us, how large were living room sets during that time?
Well, you just really didn't see much over those 19, 20-inch, and then it came into being a standard size of about 25 inches.
That sounds so small, thinking of today's TV.
I lived it, so I remember, but you couldn't do the viewing like you do now.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't run words on the screens and stuff because the screen was small.
Yeah. And Kathy, when did the entertainment cabinet actually come into being too?
Well, what happened then in the 80s is the TVs got bigger. So we first had the 36s and then the 48s and the 42s, and then we finally arrived at the 50-inch. So what has happened is because the old days, those 25-inch came with their own beautiful wood cabinet. You matched it into your living room, your end tables because of the wood on it. But as the screen got bigger, then we eliminated the cabinet around the screen, and we had to have an entertainment center. Along with the TV, then we had CD players and VCRs, the old days, stereo systems, game station systems. So we needed storage for all of that stuff, and that's when the entertainment centers really got their popularity in those 80s and 90s.
And you know what, today, Kathy, it doesn't seem like we really have all of those pieces anymore.
Yeah, they've kind of disappeared. The TVs have been made much better quality for sound and for viewing. They're bigger. We now have 65 all the way up to 80s and 90-inch. And many of these TVs, because of the size, have gotten to be hung on the wall. And we don't see a lot of the equipment. So because we stream things, we don't need the DVDs and all of the CD players and all of that stuff. You might have a game station still in there. You may have a soundboard just for some extra stereo kind of sound, but the majority of that equipment has kind of gone away. So now the entertainment center, now these are more like entertainment centers, but a lot of them have become a decorative piece with doors and hidden storage, because we all seem to need more storage.
Yeah. And Kathy, would you say that entertainment centers have become less popular?
Well, less popular in the fact that a lot of the TVs, you know, used to have the shelves and everything built around it. We don't see much of that because the TV size is not consistent. And I will tell you, if you have a 42-inch now, you will get a bigger one the next time that you get one, because we try to read the words, and the screens and the price has changed. So we don't see those big wall entertainments near as much. We're going to see more small or just an accent piece, maybe even a sofa table, something to put below it just to have some storage and design elements for decoration. And then the TV may sit on top or be hung on the wall.
Yeah. And Kathy, what is a main concern that people have with the size of TVs and cabinets today?
Well, I will say mostly with women, they do not like this giant black box. It's like, I always say to them, it's just a giant box. And I'm like, well, that's because you have a 70-inch TV.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to undo that. So what we're finding is that there are rooms being made for TV. We're seeing them in family rooms and theater rooms and small dens. And the main living room area, which we do like to look nice, maybe does not have a TV. Or if it does, it will be smaller.
Yeah. Good stuff, Kathy.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
Well, just keeping in mind that there are lots of variables in this, and I always try to help people if they have a 50-inch, that the cabinet they might get would be a little bit bigger, because I know they're going to get a larger one.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that things work with your room. Probably one of the biggest issues is that more the older homes do not have a place in that room to accommodate these big sizes. And so that is one thing we're trying to help people with, because we have our fireplace here and our entrance, but there's no wall for a 60 or 65-inch TV.
Yeah.
So it does take a little bit of planning to make that piece work into the room. And a lot of times today, we're going to see a new home built to accommodate these larger pieces.
All right, Kathy, thank you.
Thank
and thank
you.
you for being here with us for Design Time.